Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we've had a bit of a sell-off here, and now we were talking about the possibility of coming down lower. Now, the question here is whether this is actually a completed move here in which we're going to look to move to the upside, or whether we still have some continuation to the downside. So we're going to go over a couple of the ideas that we're following, as well as what we need to see play out for these to actually occur. Now, what we're looking at here is a couple of possibilities here. We're looking for the potential of a bigger W, X, and a Y. Now, we did discuss that potential that our X wave could actually be here, and we could be already looking to start this Y wave to the downside, in which case our target would be lower down here towards this 23,711. Alternatively, the X wave could still actually be in play. This is not invalidated as of yet, so we need to just keep an eye on this, so that if we do see a bigger move to the upside here, we could actually still be within this X wave. Now, the typical zone we'd be looking for this would actually be between this 28,270 to this 29,780 region. So we need to be aware there is still that potential that we could get something like a flat here. So we just need to be cautious of that idea. Now, the other way that we were discussing this is that we were looking at this move as a bigger W, X, Y, X, and a Z, which we were saying we could potentially be completed into this low. Now, if this is the case, there is also the potential that this could be a Z wave, still looking for this lower 1-to-1 here of this 24,851. Now, the way that this would be is we'd actually be treating this as an ABC into this low here, and then looking for a move down here in a 5-wave sequence, looking for this 24,851 as a potential 1-to-1. Now, this would be still possible for as long as we continue to remain below this X wave high here at this 28,447. So if we do see this move actually look to push down in a 5-wave move towards the zone of this 24,851, this would be a very interesting area to keep an eye on. Okay, so discussing those ideas a little bit more, the possibility of that X wave still being in play, what we'd be looking for would be the potential that this is an A wave. We're looking for this as a B wave to the downside. Now, we are within the typical B wave area that we'd look for if we are looking at an expanding flat. Now, technically speaking, even if we do move down towards this 24,870, that would be a common area that we'd actually look for a B wave at this 1.382. Now, we have come down enough, and what we need to be aware of here is that if we do see price actually look to break to the upside in a 5-wave move, this could actually look to potentially bring us up into some of these higher levels here, where we could actually see price return to this 29,699 to this 28,588 level. Now, we do need to be aware, as long as we actually maintain below this point here of this 26,792, we could actually just see price continue to fall off. So we will go over that bearish scenario in a second, but we just can't write these ideas off as of yet. If we do see a more impulsive break to the upside here, what we could either see is that we're in a C wave here, or we're within a connector wave here, looking for one more low. So we'll go over that next. Now, what we're talking about within this is the potential of having this as an A, B, and a C. Now, we have actually come down very deep here. Now, we've come down past this 0.854, which is making this idea of the C wave to the upside starting to become less likely here. What we could still see within this count is, even if we do break this low, it could still be a flat. We need to always be aware of that, that even if we do break this low, we could still see a C wave push to the upside. So we need to just keep an eye on it. Now, within this, if we did currently hold our position where we are here at this 25,464, our 1-to-1 would actually be here at this 27,505. Now, that would actually bring us back into these highs here. And then alternatively, if this developed into a 5-wave move to the upside, where this becomes 1, 2, and we see a third wave up towards this 28,853, this would tie into that idea of coming into that C wave target. So if I just overlay this now, we can see that this 5th wave target here would actually be at this 1.618 here, which would be a common target of a C wave in an expanding flat. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this for as long as we continue to just push down in corrective way. We just need to be aware that there is the potential that we could still see something like this as a reversal to the upside. Now, the other way we're discussing it is that we could actually be within that Y wave where we're saying this is an A, this is a B, and a C. Now, this would then tie into the idea of just having a 3-wave move back to the upside here, looking to target out this zone of this 27,948 again. And yeah, I mean, that would be the higher range of this. I'd be looking to at least target out this high. So coming back towards this 27,439 to this 27,948 could tie in with that idea of being within this B wave. Now we do have this little area here that is highlighted by this box, which is between this 28,039 to this 27,938. Now within this area we do have some daily naked points of control that are sitting within this zone, as well as the potential to look to actually swing fail some of these highs here and coming back into this channel for a retest. So I would be keeping an eye on that if we do see a price movement to the upside. Possibly what we could actually see is a rejection off this top channel and actually look to challenge some of these higher levels here. Now, as I said, as long as we actually maintain below this high point of this 26,788, we need to be aware of that bearish situation here where we could actually see price look to break down. Now, we were discussing this and saying that we need to be aware that there is that possibility that we could count this as 1-2-1-2. Now, it is less likely because this wave 2 was quite a deep one if we're looking at it in this way, but it is still possible that this could be A, B, and then the next leg of this as a 5-wave move would still actually apply. So we're going to go over that. But if we see a move down towards this 24,076, what it could mean is that we're actually within this 3rd wave. So we need to keep an eye on this level. If we see price break down in a bigger way, we could actually see price fall down into these lower levels here. Now, looking at the internals of this, I'm actually going to come down here onto the 30-minute time frame. And what I'm looking for here is this could just be A, B, and C. So this yellow count here is the same within that idea of this is an A, B, and a C. Now, within this, what we could argue is that from further back here, what we have is this is a 1, 2, and then we have this as 1, 2, and then this is all 3, 4, and 5. So what we're looking for is the potential that we actually have one more drop here. The typical zone we'd be looking for a rejection would actually be this 25,989 to this 25,706. Now, if we do look to reject here, what we'd be looking for is a 5th wave to the downside. Now, we can see here that if we're looking at it in this way, this wave 2 would be a bit bigger here. So this could mean that we actually see this drag out a bit longer, but they are starting to reach equality now. So I would just be mindful that if we are looking at this as a correction here, we're starting to reach equality of the wave 2. So there's a little bit more to go. So that would be towards midday, looking at the possibility that maybe we could see a push up here towards this 382 of this 25,862 or this 25,989. Now, a deeper correction here would not be unlikely if we are looking at this as a wave 2 because this was quite shallow. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. This higher range of this 50%. If we start to break above this 25,989, it becomes less likely that we have this continuation here. So we're going to talk about how we could actually complete into this low in a second, but we need to also be aware that within this, I'm counting this as a diagonal into here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it is possible this could be 1, 2, 1, 2. If this is 1, 2, 1, 2 here, this means that we actually still have further extension, and that means that this bigger yellow 3rd wave here is actually still in play. Now, what we'd then be looking for would be the potential that actually we could see this reject a lot quicker, where this is 1, 2 here, 3, 4, and then we'd actually be expecting this correction to roll over pretty soon because the time relationship between the wave 2 and the wave 4 would already be getting stretched out here. So now what I would be looking for this is if we do continue to break down for additional 4ths and 5ths here, looking for this primary target of this 25,388 to this 25,279. What we could actually see is an additional 4th wave to the upside here, failing to break back above this 50% once again of this 25,907. Now, the only way we'd invalidate this is by getting a bigger move up and crossing this wave 1 and crossing the beginning of this move, really. So we need to just be aware that if we see a 5th wave to the downside here, looking to target out this 25,388 to this 25,279, and then we get a 3-wave move back to the upside here, we could actually be looking to set this additional low here of this 25,234 to this 25,060 level. Now, this ties into that idea of this bigger breakdown. You know, we're looking for that possibility here that we are looking to actually push down towards this 24,076. Now, If we are looking at this as a bigger breakdown here, where we're looking at this as a 1-2, what we need to do is actually achieve this 1618 here at this 24,808. So if we see price continue to push down, and this is why I'm saying if we have these additional extensions here, what this would do is actually, this would then push this third wave lower down here. We'd then get a fourth and a fifth from that, and that could make this target of this 24,808 quite achievable. So we need to be cautious within this. There is a potential for a reversal here, and we're going to go over that count now, but until we actually see price breaking back above these 50% levels, we need to be aware that there is still that potential to continue down lower. Now, for as long as we hold this low here of this 25,352, technically speaking, that idea of that 5-wave count is still viable. But like I said, we have come down very deep here, and if we are going to get an additional fourth and a fifth here, it's going to be very difficult for it to maintain this low of this 25,352. So we need to just be aware of that. Now, a way we could actually argue that this has already completed, and we discussed this idea of a triangle yesterday, would be that this is an A wave, this is a B wave as a triangle, except our triangle completes here. If this is the case, what we would then actually be looking for is our 1-to-1 would be lower down here at this 25,304. Now, the thing within this is that we would have achieved that minimum requirement already, and I'm just going to throw on some of these levels, and we have actually come down to this 0.854. Now, the key difference in this is that if we are looking at this as a triangle from up here, where this is A, B, C, D, and E, what we could then see is that price actually here could have a completed move, where this becomes 1 as a diagonal, 2, this becomes 3 here, 4, and 5. So we could actually see that this low in place here is a potential low point for this as a corrective move. Now, if this is a triangle here and this is A, B, and C, and we've completed that move there, then that ties into that idea that we could actually still see a C wave to the upside towards this 27,505 area, or alternatively this third wave up towards this 28,853. So I will be keeping an eye on these levels. If we do see price move to the upside here, potentially we could actually come and look to revisit some of these levels. So just having a look at some areas as ranges, our local area here. Now, what I'm just being mindful of is that if we did see that idea of this A, B, and the C to the upside, that 1-to-1 actually aligns with coming back into this value area high. So I would be keeping an eye on this. If we do see price move up here, potentially we could see this actually get retested. Now, as well as that, if I just come back out here onto a bigger time frame, if we talk about price actually coming back down to the bottom of this channel, there's some interesting things within this zone. So we do have this little volume node that is sitting here right where our target box is, towards this zone of this 24,821 to this 24,688. And within this area, what we do have is a daily and a weekly negative point of control. So the daily one's sitting here at this 24,820. The weekly one is sitting lower down here towards this zone of this 24,692. So this is why I'm thinking, you know, if we do see a push down here into this zone, this will be quite interesting. This also aligns with this previous value area high of this little range that we had over here. So I'd be keeping an eye on that if we do see price actually start to break to the downside. So another thing that's quite interesting here, if we look at the weekly CPRs, is that we are currently approaching this R2 line, which is currently sitting here towards this 25,412. So if we did see price actually revisit this area, possibly what we could do is find support here. Now, if we do see this, what we could then see is that potential for price to actually revisit this R1 line here at this 26,261. Alternatively, if we see price continue to break down here, then I'd be keeping an eye on this R3 line, which is currently sitting here towards this 24,335. So if we do look to push down, I would be keeping an eye on this level as a potential target. Now, as well as that, if we have a look at these on the monthly, what we can see here is that we are currently just above this R1 line, which is sitting at this 25,401. Once again, if we do look to break down deeper, we have the R2 line sitting here towards us 23,613, and this R3 line sitting towards us 21,400. Now, if we do actually look to find support on this, what we could actually see is price actually look to move back up towards these central CPR lines. So that would once again tie into that idea of that ABC here, looking to actually come back and revisit some of these higher levels. Now, once again, if we do see price move above these CPR lines, what we could actually see is a retest of this S1 line here. So now if we did look to push to the upside here, that would actually tie in with that idea of having this as a flat correction. You can see how this falls within this target box here, and potentially would be looking for this C wave if we do look to actually maintain this. So gonna have to keep an eye on this. You know, we can't write off that potential of a squeeze to the upside here. I'd be cautious until we actually, you know, break back above some of these highs, because we do have that bearish scenario where we could actually just look for a direct breakdown here. But, you know, we also need to just be aware there is that potential for a squeeze to come. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.